Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of AKP Sports Talk. As always, I'm Ari here with Korea, back with another day, June 27th. We're almost at the end of June, which is pretty crazy. It feels like we just started. We're already almost into July. We're a couple weeks away from training camp getting started for football. We had the NBA draft, obviously, last night, day one, day two, or round two this afternoon. Um, pretty small slate in the MLB today, but obviously we still have our plays. We'll start off with a recapping yesterday. Tough day for you, Korea. Rockies Astros came so close. I think it was 7-1. What did you take away from your two plays?
Yeah, first off, I'm almost putting the Rockies on the ban list for this one because they got a masterclass from Spencer Arrighetti. But what? Seven
I,
innings, 10
I,
K.
I think Spencer earned his actual name after last night's performance.
Uh, I couldn't believe he's gonna watch his next start. He gives up like 7 runs through 5 innings, but the Rockies bats didn't show up. I knew the Astros bats would, and that's what I was mostly backing in this over. The fact that it was a little bit short, and all we needed was one more run from the Rockies, but their offense could not show up in any way, shape, or form. Thank God the Astros did because they scored 7, but that was a tough one. So I'm almost putting the Rockies on the ban list along with the White Sox because my God, their offense could not show up. So that was a tough one there, and then obviously another tough one as well. I think I had those flip-flopped as well. I think both games did go under, surprisingly, with the Braves and Cardinals. But also, I think the wind and the weather kind of affected all the games in St. Louis. Yesterday it was pretty. I knew the first game was already being delayed because of the weather conditions. So it was just, I'm kind of blaming the weather, but I don't really want to blame the weather. Maybe it was a bad read itself. The Cardinals did, get some runs early, but the Braves didn't really show up in game 2. They've had most of their runs in game 1. Obviously, they won 6-2. So it was just a tough read when they, I had the games flipped in terms of which game the Braves offense would show up in. I thought they would show up in game 2, but they showed up in game 1. So, it was a tough read there. So tough 0-2 day for me. Tough especially on the Rockies. That one was the main killer there. So 0-2 day for me. Tough 0-2 day, but we're gonna move on from it. Ari, I don't know 0-2 day. How did you do yesterday?
Yeah, 1-0 day for me yesterday. It was looking like it might be a little bit sweaty through 2.5 innings, and there's only 1-0. And then that's when the floodgates basically exploded in the bottom of the third, 2-out grand slam that alone pushed it over 4.5 by Jake Bowers up underneath Eovaldi. And then just for insurance, the Rangers had 4 more runs off of Keuchel in the top of the fourth. So it soared over by the fourth for both. For the full game by the fourth inning, it was already, I think it already hit over. And obviously the bottom of the third for the first 5, it hit over. So basically what I expected. And after that, it went 10 innings. Brewers won 6-5. So after that, like 4 innings, there wasn't another run scored until the bottom of the 10th. So the bullpens did their jobs, but I was just fading both starting pitchers. And that's what happened.
Yeah, well, as you said, obviously that grand slam was, the one that kind of took that first 5 over for you. But, you didn't really have to worry as well with the Rangers, finally getting their runs off of Keuchel in the top of the fourth. So obviously it's nice to see, you don't have to worry about the 5th inning or anything like that. Obviously a pretty sweat-free first 5 over 4.5 winner. At least you did go on 1-0 yesterday. Without me going 0-2. So 1-2 day, obviously, yesterday for us, but obviously today, Thursday, as I already said, small slate, not too many games on. Surprisingly, the NBA draft round 2 starting during lunchtime for people. Bronny may get drafted during some people's lunch hour. Who knows? But we're staying away from that. I'm going back to the diamond. I'm going to get my revenge after yesterday's disaster. We're going to go 2-0 today. First, we're going to go to an afternoon game, so make sure you get those bets in early. We're going to go to San Francisco, and we're taking the Cubs first 5 money line. We're getting a -130. You know why we're taking the Cubs first 5? It's a show today. Exactly. And I know the bullpen for the Cubs, Ari, we've talked about it many times. The Cubs bullpen has been absolutely atrocious all season. They have sold so many games, so that's why I'm just taking the first 5. I do like Shota today in this bounce back. Obviously his last start he did get absolutely rocked by the Mets. They attacked him early, three innings, 10 runs, just absolutely disaster for Shota. Now he's going to a pitcher-friendly park in obviously in Oracle Park in San Francisco. I've seen a lot of people, especially Twitter or whatever. I've seen a lot of people lean towards over and outs, which I think are at 17.5. So that's basically kind of backing the fact that the Cubs, and him having a good day. So I love the Cubs just to get out to a first 5 lead here at -130. On the other side, it is Jordan Hicks for the Cubs, for the Giants starting today. He has good numbers against some of the Cubs here. But, Jordan Hicks, the one thing about him is that, he's not a really, depth inning guy. He's more of a 4 to 5 inning kind of guy. And then, they have some bullpen guys kind of bounce, get the brunt of it. But with all the Giants pitching injuries this season, their bullpen arms have been taxed, especially, throughout all of these games. And I just really love the Cubs to especially avoiding the sweep here. Obviously, the Giants have won all three games. I believe in this series. Today is the final game. Giants already won this series. I do love the Cubs just to get out to a lead here. I've seen a lot of people talking about the Giants full game money line, so that's why I just love the Cubs just to get out to a first 5 lead here. We're getting it at -130. Just backing Shota Imanaga on the mound, obviously after a rough start. At home, backing him in a pitcher-friendly park. Against the Giants today, even though the Giants do hit lefties well, Shota just having a bounce back. That's what I'm mostly backing here. So I do love the Cubs first 5 money line here at -130. And then we're going to get revenge on the first 5 over yesterday. But we're taking it to Kansas City. We're taking the Guardians and Royals first 5 over 4.5 here. We're taking that at -130 on DraftKings here. Look, we're just backing both offenses here. Obviously, the Guardians offense has been one of the more consistent offenses, especially with Steven Kwan and Jose Ramirez in that lineup. And obviously the Royals offense, with guys like Bobby Witt Jr., Melendez has been a pretty consistent bat for them. Obviously we talk about Salvador Perez as well. I am backing these bats in this situation here against these two pitchers. Going for the Guardians, it's Ben Lively, and his splits are not great against this Royals team. And, I do love backing hitters in these divisional matchups because of the fact they see each other so often. They do have that history against each other. The Royals, obviously, if they do hit well, and we talked about, the Kauffman Stadium, the curse of the Seattle Mariners. That stadium is a very hitter-friendly park. Very, very hitter-friendly park. Us Mariner fans know from previous experience. So I do love the bats to come out early today. Going for the Royals, it's Michael Wacha, and I didn't really I wanted to back the Royals first 5 money line, but I didn't really know how Michael Wacha was going to do against this Guardians offense. He doesn't do well against lefties as good as righties, and obviously we know 2 lefties obviously the Guardians stacked with lefties, but we know two Guardians that are good in Steven Kwan and Jose Ramirez, obviously from the left side. So I'm more just kind of backing the fact that they're going to be runs early in this game, and I just need 5 from both the Guardians and the Royals today. I think a lot of them are going to be coming from the Royals, so if you do want the first 5 money line, I do lean the Royals, but I do love just the Guardians and Royals first 5 over 4.5 here. Just backing runs here early. We're getting that at -130. Those are my 2 plays. Cubs first 5 money line, backing Shota on the mound in San Francisco, and then an over first 5 over 4.5 in Kansas City, just backing the runs between the Guardians and Royals. Those are my 2 plays today. Ari, what have you cooked up for this Thursday?
Yeah, going back to just one play, I finally got my look back on the first 3 under, what was it, 2 days ago when it was Lorenzen and Peralta and it was 0-0. I'm going back to it, probably just a half unit play because it is, plus 145. Obviously you talked about the game, Imanaga versus Jordan Hicks. Imanaga got obliterated in his last start, to put it, lightly. I think it was like 3 innings, 10 runs, I want to say, against the Mets. I like him to bounce back here, and Hicks has been strong. Hicks actually, I think that was the game when I had the Cubs first on my line against Hicks as well. But that was in Chicago, obviously, when the Giants won 1-0, and we talked about the first 5 under in that as well. And that hit obviously is 1-0, but I lost on my Cubs first 5. Obviously, you could still win that here. I'm just going first 3 though. One time through the lineup, Hicks threw 5 shutout against the Cubs in that start. Imanaga didn't pitch in that series, so this will be his first time facing the Giants. But I still like the narrative of him bouncing back after his rough start. Last start, his worst start by pretty far. So just give me probably, again, just a half a unit because it is, plus 145. One time through the lineup. I mean, hopefully 0-0, but obviously I can afford to, have a one run, obviously. But the Nerfy is like minus 150. So just give me the Nerfy plus 2 more scoreless innings, hopefully, or let's just say 1-0 Cubs. We can say for your Cubs first 5 and, take it to the bank.
Yeah, obviously, I do love, the fact that, Lorenzen and Peralta hit for you the other day. Obviously, we love to continue the hot trend, get the hot hand going. So, obviously, going with the Giants and Cubs first 3 under 1.5. I do love that play for you. Little sprinkle at plus 145. You talked about, this matchup almost will kind of happen. Last time, especially with Jordan Hicks on the mound against the Cubs, that was in Chicago. He did, and remember that was a 1-0 scoreless through the first 5. So, I do love backing Jordan Hicks in that spot for you. And then Shota's first time against the Giants in a pitcher-friendly ballpark. I do love him as well. And you mentioned the Nerfy being super, super juiced like that. I don't really like to take any Nerfy above 135. So I do love the Giants and Cubs first 3 under 1.5. A little sprinkle for you. And obviously, all you need is just no more than 2 runs. So hopefully the Cubs maybe just get 1 run, and obviously Shota cooks through those first 3. So that obviously hits for you, and then no more runs to the first 5. So that hits for me as well. So that's Ari's play right there. Giants, Cubs, first 3 under 1.5, little sprinkle at plus 145. And then my 2 plays with the Giants and Cubs. I have the Cubs first 5 money line at minus 130, and then the Guardians and Royals. I have that first 5 over 4.5. Those are my 2 plays. Ari's 1 play. Obviously, you can find all of these plays on our Twitter below, AKP Sports Talk. That is our full card. That's where our full card and our video will be posted every day. But that's going to do it for this episode. Obviously, unfortunately, no Euros today, but obviously we do got the United States playing today. So, of course, we're going to be back in the United States money line any way, shape, or form. But obviously, as Ari said, we will see potentially if Bronny does get drafted today, and if, when, and where. It may be during your lunch hour. Who knows? But that's going to do it for this episode of AKP Sports Talk. That's Ari. I'm Kareem. We will be back tomorrow for another episode. Don't forget, guys, please, thank you guys so much for all the love. We do appreciate it. Don't forget, give us a follow on our Twitter below, AKP Sports Talk. That's going to do it. Win some money, and we will see you tomorrow.